Hello, and welcome to ONCA 101, Member Meeting Notices for Ontario Nonprofits. My name is Benjamin Miller, and I'm a lawyer who serves nonprofits and charities, and I'm of counsel with B.I.G. Charity Law Group. In this video, we'll review some of the rules under Ontario's Not-for-Profit Corporations Act for issuing the notices of member meetings. We'll discuss in particular who you have to send them to, how you send them, what goes in them, and when you need to send them by. Just a quick disclaimer, the following presentation is general legal information, not legal advice tailored to your specific situation. For advice, reach out to a competent legal advisor. My contact information is at the end of this presentation, and you can also go to charitylawgroup.ca. So to get started, who must get a member meeting notice? The following individuals must get a member meeting notice. Number 1, members entitled to vote at the meeting before the cutoff date. So these are your voting members, but you can set a date in your bylaws that basically says the members need to have registered by such and such a date in order to get a notice for the upcoming member meeting. And the reason you want to do this is you don't want to all of a sudden have the deck stacked with a whole bunch of surprise members at the last second. You want to know how many people to expect and what your quorum is going to be. For example, if your quorum is a percentage of your members, you want to know what that quorum is, some days in advance of your meeting. Now, if you don't set a date in your bylaws, a cutoff date by which members need to register, then it is the day before the meeting, so the end of the day before the meeting. Or if you don't issue a notice, it's actually the day of the meeting. One of the reasons it's good to issue a notice of your members' meeting. You also need to send a members meeting notice to all your directors. They're entitled to attend, as well as any auditors or people who were appointed to do a review engagement, so your financial reviewers basically. Your bylaws can specify other people who are entitled to receive a meeting notice, but these are the basic people under the Act who are required to get a notice. Any of these people can waive their right to notice, and if they show up and don't protest to the meeting that's happening, then they're implicitly waiving their right to receive notice. So, how are you supposed to send out this meeting notice? Well, you've got a few options. You can send it by prepaid mail to the last known address of the member. You can also go to that last known address and personally deliver it, or have somebody personally deliver it, or you can send it by electronic means. By the way, this is one of the reasons that it's super important to keep an up-to-date member register. A member register is a list of all your members, their contact information, and information like their last known address. So that's very useful to have, although it can be cumbersome to keep. So what actually goes in the meeting notice? Well, you want to include the time, date, and location of the meeting, unless that's something fixed in your bylaws, so that everybody's presumed to know it. You want to include the usual business of the meeting, so the financial statements, the fact that you'll be voting on appointing an auditor or a financial reviewer, whether an election of directors will happen. It won't necessarily happen every year, but if it's happening, you should include that, as well as the text of any special resolutions in sufficient detail so members can make up their mind about the voting. And in general, any special business you'll be dealing with at the meeting, you need to include sufficient detail for people to make up their minds ahead of time. So, what must members' meeting notices be delivered by? When do you have to send them by? So members' meeting notices must be delivered no less than 10 days and no more than 50 days before the meeting. That's what's required by the Act, but your bylaws can specify a date within this range. So your bylaws can say something like the meeting notice has to be sent by 21 days before the meeting, or at least 21 days before the meeting, which is a stricter standard than what the Act requires from you. Now, that's for the meeting notice, but you're also required to send your financial statements to your members ahead of time. However, you've got a tighter timeline that you can do this on. You just need to send it at least 5 days before the meeting of members. So it can be sent after the notice is sent out. So that's a general overview of the rules governing sending notice for members' meeting. If you have any questions, you can send me an email to benjamin.miller@charitylawgroup.ca, or just visit charitylawgroup.ca. I'm sure someone would be happy to take your question. Thanks so much for listening.